SolidBrixStudios here. Welcome back to another episode of Building Kamino, episode 20. Guys, we finally hit that 20 mark. And guys, this is going to be a big episode. It's something that I've been wanting to start up for quite a while. And of course, as you guys saw in the actual thumbnail, or I guess in the title, that is starting the Capitol. So as you can kind of see right behind me, I actually started working on the, I guess the ground, well, I guess technically ground layer since it is above ground. But basically the whole platform, which is super flat at the moment, basically that's where the actual Capitol building, or the portion of the Capitol that's going to be there. And I worked on that, as well as I kind of outlined where everything is going to be, and I actually really am liking how it's looking. Now of course it is not finished, and you guys will see it in just a moment, but before we actually get into the video, as you guys know, the normal routine, I do want to give a huge shout out to our series sponsor, Minifix for You. David has generously sent me a bunch of awesome, really cool Kamino style clones to be used in the mock, as well as there should be a couple more coming in the way coming soon, so look forward to that. But yeah, huge shout out to him for that, as well as I'll leave a links if you want to check out these awesome figures for yourself in the description below. And yeah, other than that, again, I'm super excited. The actual platform, again, is going to kind of look odd because of the fact that it is the first week, because you know, I haven't actually, that's basically what I just started. So there's going to be a couple color codes that kind of just look odd, and that's just because of the fact that, you know, it's basically filler, and you're not really going to see it because it's going to be tiled over and such. So it's really exciting. That's basically what I focused on. I also actually started working on my buddy Marty's Trident class droid ship. If you guys remember that from the Clone Wars episodes, those giant squid looking vehicles. And I actually started working on it. He has some awesome instructions, and I've been meaning to, so I actually started working on that. It's coming out nicely. I'm not going to show it because there's a lot of color codes that needs to be changed. So hopefully I'll get that finished by either next week or the week after. I also do want to quickly mention a couple things before I actually get into the video, and that is I haven't really been the most active this week. And what I mean by that is there was actually supposed to be 2 videos that were supposed to come prior to this week's episode, and they were supposed to be a AT-AT review. I actually filmed it, got it set up and all that, just haven't edited it, and as well as it was going to be another Q&A episode, and I just never got I just didn't have time enough to actually record it or edit it. And the reason for it is, for one, my main focus was this week was to actually build the Razor Crest, or my buddy Jay's Razor Crest. I actually have it kind of right there so I can look at it. It's a gigantic build. It's probably one of my favorite builds I have currently, but it did take a lot of time because it is a large model. I think it took me roughly 3 days total, but that's like kind of on and off from going to work and such. On top of that, the end of this week I fell ill. I got sick and stuff like that. I did not feel too good. I was up into most of the nights kind of just being sick and whatnot. I don't want to go too graphical, but so I just started getting over it, and the week kind of just did not end up working as best as I would have hoped. I was hoping I wouldn't have gotten sick, but I did. But luckily I am feeling better now, so I'm actually able to record this week's update. So look towards next week for a couple awesome videos, and we should be back on schedule. Now with that being said, I'm super excited and pumped to show you guys this week's progress, so let's get right into today's episode. Let's go. Okay guys, this is what the mock is looking like, and guys, as you can see, the big change of course is on the farthest left corner. Really, that's basically what I was focusing on this week. I did add a couple more studs, and that was because a couple of them kind of came in the mail, so I kind of filled that little patch right there. I do want to quickly point out I did just order a bunch of more studs for my buddy Noah, so those will be coming in the next week or so, I think. So hopefully there'll be enough to kind of just fill in a couple more base plates. So hopefully I can finish doing the water soon, because stacking studs can get tiring sometimes. But again, the main focus was of course on this area right here. I actually stayed up pretty late last night kind of finishing it. Now of course you guys can probably just state, oh well, you know, this just kind of looks like a bunch of plates with bricks and stuff like that. That's really it. And in a technical sense, kind of basically what it is, but when it gets to the point where it's kind of the last day before recording, on top of that, I still have a bit more to do and actually get tiles and stuff like that to cover all of this stuff. I just ended up deciding, you know what, this is actually a good start because of the fact that, you know, I actually haven't started on the platform itself. Or I guess capital, I guess you could say. Now, something I did add, of course, is these kind of rings right here. It's kind of the similar thing going on with these platforms and stuff. It's going to be on 4 corners. So far, I just have it on this one and that one under there. The 2 on those sides don't have them currently because I ran out of these wedge plates that I use. I have plenty of the other parts. It's just I ran out of the wedge plates. But don't worry, I did order a bunch more so I can actually, you know, finish them off pretty easily. Another thing I want to point out that this is actually just sitting here. I kind of made a executive decision to not actually basically build, not really build it, but basically actually connect these to the pillars. And the reason for it is I feel like when I move this or transport this to Chicago or even Virginia, it's going to be a bit difficult, especially if I had to lift this up and try not to break anything underneath it. So what I did was, instead of putting stacking on it, there's actually tiles on top of these bricks that are kind of holding in place. So I kind of can just lay there, and these pieces right here, the lime green, is basically where it's saying, you know, hold off. And kind of make sure that, you know, I don't forget where it's supposed to go. Now, as you can see, currently it is a square, and of course I did state that, you know, this is the capital, which of course is a circular diameter and stuff like that. And this is what I brought up last week, and I think this is probably the best idea in this case, because of the fact that a lot of you guys really did like the idea of kind of having the open side. And basically this is what I'm talking about, basically kind of having a kitty corner where you have this whole side right here, basically where I guess you could say the wall hits. Basically have this whole side kind of be well, not completely open, but basically open, so you can kind of see inside the hangar, inside these rooms and stuff like that, without, you know, having to take off tops of the roof or take off walls or something like that. Because again, this is going to be showcased at a convention, so, you know, I want to try to make sure that you guys get to see everything and, you know, have no issues getting to it. With that being said, I did kind of make this black border. I actually quite like the idea because, you know, this is actually a bit farther than the black border would be, so of course this would technically be in the black border zone. But the idea is basically I ordered a bunch of wedge plates to kind of give the spherical rounding. So basically this, I assume, is probably going to where I'm going to actually teeter it off, or basically have it start curving down that way. And honestly, I feel like this is plenty of more space. This is roughly a couple more of these 6x6 plates, kind of just, you know, out further, as well as, of course, it's going to curve. Basically it's going to be rounded off to that side, as well as it's just going to continue rounding off to that end. And honestly, that's a lot more space than I actually thought I had it. I was kind of worried, and not really hesitant, but I was much more worried that I was like, I don't know if I'm actually going to have enough room for this, because of the fact that, you know, this gunship is pretty big, and having, like, you know, this amount of space, I was kind of worried, like, is this going to be big enough to actually have a hangar and have the gunship in the actual hangar? And honestly, seeing this now, because it is going to be a bit taller, this is the actual, I guess, height that the pillars, or the capital, is supposed to be, is probably going to be about right here, which is a lot larger than the gunship, of course. The idea is I'm going to have 2 pillars kind of going from right here and right on that end, so the gunship can kind of just, you know, get out pretty easily. Now, of course, this isn't going to be full scale to the actual hangar in the actual episode, because in the actual episode, the hangar is actually a lot larger, as well as I want to point out that the gunship in the actual episode is actually kind of more so on this side, but the idea, I'm putting it on that as well. Again, having this side can be completely open, or basically for those like epic pan shots, kind of just like zooming past like that, or just, you know, in general for the public to viewing. I actually really like the idea of kind of having the gunship pushed on that side. That way you can kind of see on the inside, you know, have this really nice border around it, and then you can kind of see the inside with all the lights kind of glistening on the actual tiles. Because honestly, having this is actually really cool in my opinion, because it's like I kind of get to imagine what everything is going to look like near the end. Now, of course, as you can see, these light bluish gray bricks right here, basically this is the outline where everything's going to be kind of at, or at least in the, you know, area that's the interior or other rooms are going to be, because this is going to be the main room, of course, which is going to be the hangar. I'm going to have a lot of my focus towards. But honestly, I didn't realize how much extra space I was going to have. Now for some things, you know, it might not look like a ton of space, but honestly, it actually is. Now, these skinnier rooms right here, this is actually my idea, that these spots that kind of have a opening between everything, basically, they're going to be around the door areas where you can actually move into different rooms. And basically, this whole long area is going to end up being a hallway, which I'm actually really excited to do. But this is going to be a long hallway leading into another larger room. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to do there. My main idea is, if you guys play Battlefront 2, there's a hallway that kind of leads into this open room before you go outside. I don't know if that's going to be the best idea I have, but basically, I'm going to have a certain room, kind of like maybe an open area right here, as well as, again, kind of another entrance leading into that room. I'm actually thinking about maybe using those, the clones that David sent me, the Kamino style clones, maybe battling some droids in there. I think that might be a cool idea. But then again, I still have all this open space right here. Now, of course, as you can see, there's still bricks and plates sticking out on that side. There is still a bit more to go on that side before it's finished. So it's not even, it's not even done. So this room might get a little bit bigger. So my idea is, I'm trying to figure out what to put there and what I actually want to do. Now, I guess the big idea would be, of course, build the interior part with the actual barracks, or the rooms that's, Echo 5's Rex, Cody, and 99 fought off the battle droids, and where 99, of course, sadly died. But my main issue is, I would love to do that. I feel like it'd be such a cool idea, but the problem is, I don't feel like I have enough space for that, because of course the barracks are actually really large, and if at this scale it's just going to be downsized. Now, if you guys don't mind that, I will most definitely do that. Honestly, I feel like that'd probably be the best space to do the actual barracks, because I could totally do kind of like the actual barracks pods and stuff like that, maybe on this side, have the battle going on over here. So if you guys don't mind it being a little downsized, then let me know in the comment section below, and of course I will do it. I do think it'd be an awesome scene to do, but I want to get you guys' thoughts and opinions on it first. So with that being said, that was all the progress done. I know a bit longer than normal. Again, don't mind the yellow and the gray and the tan and stuff like that that are showing. They're all going to be covered. Of course, it is just filler. And yeah, hopefully by next week I'll actually start getting some more kind of the capital a bit more rounded off, and maybe some actual built structures on the actual capital. So I'm actually really excited again. I'm loving how this mock is coming along. Again, it does kind of look a little odd, with all this nice finished stuff, and then you kind of see the blue, white, and gray mix over there. But honestly, after a while, it's going to look great. And with that being said, let's head out to that outro. Okay, guys, so that was this week's episode. I really hope you all enjoyed. If you did, definitely show some love by smashing that like button. Guys, I really love, or at least, I'm enjoying starting up Capitol building. I know it's been a while since I've actually stated that I was going to, but now I finally have, and I actually can't wait to just, complete it, because that's just going to put us one more step closer to the finale. And I do want to quickly point out a few things before I actually end out. Again, let me know in the comments section what you guys think of the idea for the back room and stuff like that, if you guys want me to do the barracks. Again, the main, I guess, hesitation for me not doing the barracks is it's not going to be fully to scale to what it's actually supposed to, because in the episode, or just in general, they are pretty large. So let me know if you guys don't think it's that big of a deal and that you still want to see it, because it's something that I think would be such an awesome scene to do, but I want to get you guys' feedback before I do so. Now, with that being said, I also want to point out that last week I got a couple comments asking if I was going to be doing waves or adding waves to the water. Yes, don't worry, I've actually answered this a couple times before, but yes, there will be waves added to the actual water, because of the fact that the main reason I haven't is because a lot of the parts I'm using for water is kind of to cover more ground, and I'd rather cover more ground now and then add waves and stuff like that later, because yeah, if I have to spend an extra, or buy an extra like 1,000 or so just to cover, add more waves, I will. But my more important goal is just to finish the water, and then kind of as a touching up, I guess you could say, is add the waves. It's kind of like what people usually do with like terrain and stuff like that, and add foliage at the end, because of the fact that, you know, it's more of a touching up technique and stuff like that that you don't really need at the exact moment of the actual build. So with that being said, next week my goal is to again continue working on the capital. That is going to be my main priority in the next couple weeks until it is finished. Again, I did order a bunch more water studs for my friend Noah, or H2 Bricks, so I can't wait to get those in so I can actually cover more ground, as well as like I said at the beginning, I have been working on my buddy Marty's I think it's the Trident droid ship. I can't remember the exact name for it, but I can't wait to get that built. That way I can have another vehicle. It will be the final vehicle of the mock. But yeah, other than that, I think that's going to be it. Again, if you enjoyed, definitely smash that like button. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of this week's episode, as well as what you want to see in the back. And if you're new to this channel, definitely subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.